Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach, and this is our 100-year-old farm tour. I'm gonna show you all the ins and outs of this 12-acre farm that we have, all the things that we do, all the things that we're planning to do, and give you maybe some inspiration on some stuff that you can take to your place. So if you're new around here, we have been here since October of 2020 on this property, and we are in southeastern Kentucky, right in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains. We have 12 acres. We do big gardens. We have livestock. We have chickens, goats, all that stuff you're about to see here in a minute. And we also run a small business off the farm where we sell herbal medicine. So let's start as if you were just pulling right into the driveway. So lining this driveway are all black walnut trees that were planted by the original owners of here. I love getting the stories of this place. If you didn't know, black walnuts are great to use in tinctures. Their hulls have such a great medicinal properties for it, so it was so nice having so many of these trees here. The only thing I dislike about them is two things. One, they are the last trees to get their leaves. They're also the first trees to lose their leaves, and they are fragile trees. Man, they like to break limbs every chance they can. And then of course, basically one of the biggest reasons that we purchased this place is the house. We absolutely love our little stone house. We call it our little fairy house. Something about stone, it's just absolutely amazing. It's like living in a root cellar. So that stone is so thick, especially being, you know, right at 100 years old. You know, 100 years ago, they built things a little different than they do today. That stone is so thick, it's like we're living in a root cellar. So it does have a full basement underneath of it that's also just concrete and stone. And it's like it stays a nice settling 55 degrees in there if you just never touched anything, didn't turn on any heat or anything like that. But I love it for the security purposes, the safety reasons too, because we do get some tornadoes and we do get some of that stuff here, and having a fully blown stone house and having a full basement makes me feel really comfortable with my two kids and my wife here. So I love having this stone house here. It's beautiful. It's perfect for us. And then starting right here, if you hadn't catch the videos before, and if you are that new, go back and watch this new redesign of our kitchen garden. So we had a bunch of beds in here and we had weed tarp down, and all those beds were starting to rot out. So we completely redid it with metal beds. That's why you don't see any grass here, is because it had all that weed tarp down. We took it up. But we love these metal beds. Most of them aren't planted besides the ones in the back here. But in this bed, we have some onions. You can see some sprouting right there already. And then in these two beds, we have broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. And then here we've got some spinach, lettuce, and a few leftover broccoli and cabbage. And then so I can put some of these things down. Needed some new watering wands for a water hose. We'll head over into, this is what we call our big garden. These are also our cherry bushes. And there are bees all over them. Check this out. Can y'all just see them all? It's like the whole thing's moving. Oh, they are pollinating the fire out of this bad boy. It's like a swarm of bees. That's really cool. That was actually really cool seeing all those bees. They left me alone. But I mean, there's not many things that are blooming right now. It's at the very beginning. So just seeing all of those bees on that was so cool to see. So this is Rusty. Yeah, I would say hello. And he protects our big garden. So our big garden is completely fenced in. However, we have a lot of chickens, a lot of cats, a lot of stuff like that. And of course we got woods that are backed up here. So we have deer and rabbits and all those things that like to get in the garden. So Rusty keeps all those things out. He is the guardian dog of the garden. Now, because I know people ask, yes, we do let him out to run and be with us and play, but this is kind of his home base, just to help to protect the garden. And now you're staring at one of my pride and joys. She's looked better in her days, but she's looking all right right now. This is my cattle panel greenhouse that I built, and all we did was use cattle panels. We took it 2 foot off the ground, as you can see right here. That way you could walk in it. These are some temporary braces because we had some big snows that bent it in, so I'm just trying to bend the cattle panels back. But in here's a little slim, we're starting to grow some tomatoes that we got going on right here. All kinds of guys. We got some cilantro and some dill. Here's a few more tomatoes and some pepper plants. And back here we got some flowers starting to germinate. This is also what I call my salad bowl mix. So basically I just run a line of different things back and forth. And as they get taller, we'll just clip and cut, or cut and eat, and then they'll just keep growing back for it. It's a warm one today, and that's with this window open and the big door open over here. And right now the only thing in the big garden that's actually planted are our peas so far. So they're right here on this cattle panel, Everything else is completely empty at this moment and just waiting for the summer garden to get planted. And these boards are actually made from old fencing boards. So actually the guy that did my fencing, he was like, hey, we got a guy that we're taking his fence down, would you like his wood? And so I turned those into raised garden beds. And this guy, he uses non-treated wood when he does it, and then the customer can do whatever he wants with it. But it was just plain raw wood. And I was like, that's gonna be perfect for some raised beds. So when you're building beds, get crafty. It doesn't always have to be the expensive metal beds or something expensive. Try to figure out how you can get this stuff for free and then put it together, because the dirt is where you really spend your money. Guineas. All right, now as we head out of the big garden, we just shoot straight across to more of the front of the property. We actually head to our little store. So we did have this open to the public. We've had to kind of shut it down for that. We take special orders where people can stop by, but where it's just my wife and I and our kids, we don't really have the opportunity to keep this open, you know, every day of the week, because we can't dedicate that we're going to be here every day. But we do still sell online. We still have our stuff online. So let's check this place out. So basically what you're looking at is we bought a Amish cabin. That's what we call them. You know, those cabins that are just sitting on the side of the road that you can purchase and they drop off. So we just bought one of those, completely empty on the inside. We had to do all that stuff. And then we added this really awesome porch to it to really make it look like a little country store. And we've had some pretty fun nights on this porch, I'm not gonna lie. It brings a lot of good parties, that's for sure. And this is what the inside looks like. So it's very clean, very open. However, we got some stuff here because we do online orders. So for the roof, we actually use pine fencing boards. You can see the little dovetail there on the end. And the only reason I left that was because I was gonna have to cut off too much and I was gonna waste too much wood. So I was like, you know what, this is just a little store. We'll keep those little dovetails on the end so we don't waste very much wood. But I love the way it turned out because it's one of those curved, you know, it kind of goes up here and flattens out and then goes down this way. This was such a cheap and pretty way to make a little rustic cabin. Our big countertop here, this was actually made out of all those old fence boards too. I love the look of it. I thought it was rustic and that was definitely the vibe we were going for. And then basically the walls and the floor, we just got the cheapest at Lowe's. So we got the paneling from Lowe's and their cheapest laminate from there because we didn't want to spend too much money on it. But I love the way all the colors worked out. I think it looks fantastic. So what do we sell? We sell tinctures, which is herbs infused in vodka for 6 to 8 weeks. That gets the biggest medicinal properties out of that herb. Once you strain it, then you just have the liquid and you can take it directly on a tongue or in a juice or something like that. But that is one of the prominent things that we sell are tinctures. We have something for immune boosting. We have something for cold and flu. We have heart health. We have digestion. Literally, we have weight loss. That's even in there with our chickweed tincture. Anything that you would buy an over-the-counter drug for, my wife Jen has created a tincture for, and it's been really awesome. So that's one of the top things that we sell. But we also sell loose leaf tea, like our elderberry shield, coconut oolong, bourbon barrel, which is probably my favorite, immune support, creme brulee, and peaceful nights to help you sleep. But the two things that started this company, comfrey and calendula salve, these two were the first two products that we ever sold, and we built off that. And these are the true starters of Stivers Homestead. So comfrey salve is going to be for anything for aches and pains, you know, sore backs, bad knees, anything like that. You're going to put the comfrey salve on. Calendula salve is going to be like your Neosporin replacer. So cuts, rashes, burns, diaper rash, anything like that is going to be for your calendula salve. We actually call the calendula and the comfrey salve magic salves because they really do heal anything that ails you. So definitely if you're interested in those, it's thestivershomestead.com. And if you're catching this when the video came out, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we actually have a 15% off going on right now. As long as you spend $20, it'll automatically hit you. So right now is a great opportunity to test some stuff out if you want to, because you can save a little bit of money. But everything, I would recommend everything. However, those salves are just something that are just great to have on hand. And so just make sure you pile up on them because they do go pretty fast. But the primary for this video that I wanted to show you that is to give you an idea of how to make a little bit of money on your homestead or your farm. You know, they don't always have to be this elaborate. Farm stands are extremely popular. You can just put on the end of your road, have people self-serve. But make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're getting a little income off the stuff that you're growing and doing on your farm. Now as we head to the far other end of our little farm we have here, This is our pasture that we used to have cattle on. So we actually got rid of them last year, and we're just letting this area rest because cattle can really do some damage to your property. They're so heavy, so big, and they're gonna eat every speck of grass that pops up. So we got rid of them pretty early in the year last year, and then now that's been resting all year. So this year, we'll start bush hogging it more and making sure that it's recovered well and just cut some of that stuff back down into it. And then that'll allow us to move our goats, which you'll see in a second, around a little bit more of the property so they have plenty of fresh stuff to eat. So now we're gonna head up to the back part of the property. But first I gotta show you these little cuties. Several of them are going to their new forever farm tomorrow. Hello, everybody's weeping. Oh, what are you on? Hi, Dolly. Oh my goodness. Little bundles of cuteness. So we do have a livestock garden dog. That is Dolly, Great Pyrenees. He looks very annoyed that I'm waking these puppies up. Okay, so currently we have 2 pastures, our backyard basically, which has a little water line that runs through it. It's really just a drain, but we have so much water that it usually stays pretty full, so that's nice for the pigs. And then we lock that off in the summer and rotate between the two, because you just saw the gate the goats came through. And this is the back pasture where the barn is. But before I go introduce you to all of them, over here is what we call the old barn, and then a corn crib. So in there we actually have some chicks that I'll show you. But all of these structures were here on the farm basically since it was started. You know, this was a 100-year-old farm, so everything that you're seeing is probably about 100 years old. So in here, actually in the last video, if you haven't seen it, we just moved all of these little bitty chicks out into this corn crib. So we had to proof this up, putting hardware cloth up. But we have 19 new chicks in here. We have Turkins, Polish, I can't remember the other 2. My daughter has actually started this project, and it is strictly her chickens that we have here. What y'all doing? Turn my back and all y'all come chasing me. Was y'all gonna gang up on me? So these chickens were 100% her idea. She takes care of them, waters them, feeds them, cleans out the coop, and it's awesome. We love that our kids get to experience this and that they have ideas and want to do things. We're definitely going to support them. Plus, when it comes to having new chickens, you can never really have enough if you have the space, especially with the chicken shortage. So a lot of our hens are getting a little bit older, so it was about time for us to get a new round of a few in, just to kind of rotate some of the old ones, and have some new ones coming in for the next season when they'll really be laying. Really? Not gonna do it this time? All right, now to the cuties. This is Anna. She was actually one of our first goats we ever had. She's a Saanen, so everybody here is either full-blooded Saanen or has Saanen in them. I know, honey. I know. Hello. We love the Saanen breeds. To us, we've had so many different type of goats. We've had Nubians, Alpines, Saanens, basically we've had Nigerian dwarves, and we have landed on Saanens being our favorite for many reasons. To start off with, they seem to give us the most milk. Like Anna right here, she'll give us a half gallon of milk every time we milk her, which is absolutely amazing for a goat. They're also extremely goofy and extremely friendly. And they don't seem to catch many issues. So when I'm talking about that, like they seem to be all right with parasite loads, any kind of diseases that they have, but they do have a couple downfalls. Thank you. They seem to need the most hoof treatment. Their hooves grow like crazy, so we basically do it spring and fall, and we'll give them a check in the summer. But there's been a lot of breeds that we haven't had have to do it that much. But with Saanens, I don't know. It's like they have human fingernails or toenails, and they just have to be clipped very often. That's downfall number 1. Downfall number 2 is they are a white breed. So they are solid white, and sometimes that is a little bit more difficult to sell if you're trying to sell their kids. Yes, white goats are cute. They're pretty. We love them. But a lot of people, when they're purchasing goats, they're looking for spots and colors and all those cool designs that say like a Nubian would give you, because the Nubians, they're so colorful and everything, and that's one of the reasons that they're so popular. On top of their cream level, they have a really good cream level, but we had never seemed to get too much milk out of them because it seems like maybe they're focused on creating all that cream. So that's really the only two downfalls that I have for Saanens. Outside of that, they are absolutely fantastic goats. So this is what we call the new barn. The only reason we call it the new barn is because it's actually in pretty good shape. So we have 1, 2, this is a 3, 4, but it's together, and then 5 stalls. And it stays so cool here in the summer because it has this straight back and forth wind flow. So it's so nice for the goats. The bug levels are usually always low in here, basically because we don't have anybody laying hot poo anywhere. We do have pigs, but they go out to poo. People always talk about how pigs are so nasty. They're almost more like a dog. Like they have a spot that they go use the restroom at. The reason that I guess people think they're nasty is because they're always dirty, but they're getting in the mud to cool off, and they will eat about anything. But there are our 3 very unfriendly pigs. They are all Cooney Coonies, which is a heritage breed that we really like. Cooney Coonies will actually eat pasture. What's up, Bessie? What's up, old boy? They don't grow huge, and they do grow slow. But when you harvest them, I promise you, their pork chops look like ribeye steaks. So it is worth the wait if you can do it. Don't worry, Bessie, you already know you've been pardoned, man. Now these 2 are females. Sometimes we're possibly looking for a male to breed them because we do love Cooney Coonies that much. How close you let me get? No. I hear you. So here's just kind of a shot from the back corner. It is really pretty here. And depending on when you're catching this video, because you know sometimes these things pop up years down the road, this is the very beginning of spring of 2025. So it's actually just middle of March, and everything's starting to bloom and all that good stuff. But we don't have many leaves yet. That will be coming soon, and this thing is completely full. And my favorite part about when the leaves come, I can't see that road anymore. It is completely covered up by all of our trees, and it's like my living fence. All right, as we continue to head up the property, this is the second house on our property, which was a very nice addition. So we call this our cottage, our little cottage house, and we fenced it all in and all that good stuff. It's been many things. It's been an Airbnb before, but for now, we just offer it for our family and friends that want to come visit us, and it's so nice to have that for that reason. When you choose to live very rural like we do, you're really not around a lot of people that you grew up with, family, friends like that. Most everybody, like the shortest trip for our family or friends is about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's really nice to have in this house to be able to offer them to stay if they do want to come visit. And then one of my favorite spots to unwind, because the road gets a lot quieter, is up here, and you can see the Cumberland mountain range that goes all the way across. Plus, any of our guests that get to stay there get a really nice view of all the animals. They always come up here and hang out. Sometimes we try to get some carrots out and make sure they have them available so they can feed the goats. It's a nice little touch. It's not a whole lot, but it's a whole lot more than we had, and we're extremely thankful and blessed to be here and get to enjoy this life, and especially with our kids and the mental state that it gives us just to have this normalcy of making homesteading normal, if that makes sense. Like, our kids don't know anything else besides being raised this way. And it's not saying that being raised is different ways wrong. It's just I love that their minds have been able to expand, get to know the normal stuff in life, but also get to know all of this. And then as they get to grow older and get older, they'll be able to make their own choices of what they want to do for their future, but they'll have this in their memory core. They'll know what this is like. They'll get to tell the stories about this life, and I am so thankful for that. Hello, come here. Come here. Come here. That's a good puppy. Wanna roll over? I know. Oh, yep. You like the belly rubs. Oh, hello. Hello. Y'all jealous too? I call him short stuff. He's always very suspicious. That's my toes y'all are eating. That's my toes y'all are eating. There you are, I got you. I got you. All right, quiet now. So hopefully you was able to get a little inspiration on some of the stuff that we've done here, and be able to take it back to your place, or if you're just in the dreaming stage of wanting a homestead, maybe that's why this video popped up for you. If it did, keep chasing those dreams. Keep going after it. I tell you what, when Jen and I had or started thinking about buying a house, we didn't think it'd ever be anywhere possible for us to ever get one. But we just started the process, and the next thing we know, it was able to work out. So if you're in that same standpoint too, keep fighting, keep going at it, and then maybe one day we'll be watching your homestead tour. So the guineas and I really enjoyed hanging out with you today. If you're new around here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. With all that stuff that you just saw, we start breaking down into smaller things. My wife and I, we do a lot of recipes and cooking, trying to do stuff from the farm that we have. But either way, we promise you're gonna have a good laugh if you watch one of our videos. Y'all, we love you, and until the next one, bye.